Speaking of Rofo, shouts out to the Ravens. They are playing right now. Did you know that?
No.
The
But shout
Ravens
out to Rofo for the peach seltzers, dude.
Oh,
Those
true.
are great.
Peach seltzers. Yeah, Rofo has some good generic brand stuff. Let's see. What are the Ravens doing? We're winning 14-10 with 1 minute and 57 seconds left in the half.
Okay.
Against the Dallas Cowboys, arguably one of the worst teams in the league. But yeah, I don't even feel like the season counts. It's hard for me. I feel like I would feel like it counts if we were doing better.
Yeah.
But since we're not doing better, I think I'm a Cleveland Browns fan now because the Cleveland Browns are 9-3.
Okay.
They perpetually have sucked for the past 40 years. And also in 96, the Ravens were the old Browns. So basically what happened was Baltimore had the Colts up until the 70s.
Yeah.
Where Baltimore won I think 2 Super Bowls or went to 2 Super Bowls, and we won a couple championships before they had Super Bowls where it was just championships. Then we lost the Colts in the middle of the night apparently. I wasn't there, but if you ask any old boomer in Baltimore, they'll tell you how terrible that was. So we went 20 years without having.
What do you mean in the middle of the night? That just ditched?
There was no press that I'm aware of. It was literally just one morning the headline was Colts pack up and move to Indianapolis. People just woke up and were like, we just don't have a team anymore. So you can imagine what people were thinking about that.
Yeah.
So we went 20 years almost without having a team, which is why a lot of people went to the Steelers. Mm-hmm. And I guess the Redskins too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the Cleveland Browns took their entire team, moved them to Baltimore.
Overnight.
Didn't play the 90s.
But this time, the fans did it. It's like in a camp movie when someone wakes up on their bed in the middle of the lake. Yeah. A bunch of football players just woke up in a bus in Baltimore one day.
What? We literally had their Matt Stover came from the Browns.
Okay.
He just Jonathan Ogden was a Brown. And then they just came there, and they played for us. And then the Cleveland
They were
Browns,
longtime Ravens too.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And they played. The Browns didn't play for 2 seasons, and then they just came back as the Browns again.
Wait, what?
Cleveland was like, "Fuck, dude! We tried to get rid of this team.
Do this to us? You came back?
You're back."
They said, "I figured you just leave." They said, "If you love it, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours forever." I didn't want you back. I wanted you gone.
I wanted you out of here, dude. But that's always been the thing that confuses me the most about Baltimore is we have this rivalry with Pittsburgh, the Steelers, which I've never personally understood. I've never been to Pittsburgh. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say that about Baltimore, too, that aren't from here. A lot of people would be like,
I mean, from what I saw, I only saw it from a fucking Greyhound bus stop. But yeah, it was just, it kind of reminded me of Baltimore a little bit. It was just kind of like an old, fucking warehousey type of town.
Yeah.
Where there used to be a lot of jobs.
Yes.
I know for Pittsburgh it was steel.
Yep.
That's where the Steelers come from.
Yeah.
It's not from people robbing
stealing
people.
Things, yeah.
Or stealing things.
Stealing our teams. That should be Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Indianapolis Steelers with an A.
Yeah. And it's just a robber as their mascot. And in fucking 100 years, people are going to be like, that's terrible that you'd portray robbers to look like raccoons. Raccoons haven't done anything wrong. What's the angle?
They have to change their team name to the football team too. Pretty soon, half the teams in the NFL are called the football team because we've declared every team name as the Chargers. The Chargers? Really? Really?
Well, you're just gonna name the Baltimore team after the Raven? Edgar Allan Poe died in your town.
Yeah.
He died less than a mile away from the stadium.
He was an alcoholic.
And you're using him, yeah.
And you're fetishizing.
His
art.
Yeah.
That's a word I know from work.
San Diego Chargers, or no, the LA Chargers.
Now it's the LA
I guess.
Chargers.
What? You don't like charging your phone?
Yeah. Some people can't afford cell phones.
Some people, hey, the new iPhone didn't even come with a charger. You have to be more sensitive to people.
I literally don't have a phone charger right now. I was thinking about that.
Damn.
I wanted to turn my Wi-Fi hotspot on, but I left my charger at the paint job. So
no.
I don't have a charger.
Damn,
so now
dude.
I am offended by the LA Chargers.
Get the fuck out of here, LA.
Come on, bro.
Come on.
But yeah, anyways, with Pittsburgh, it's like, I feel like Pittsburgh is a very similar city to Baltimore. We both kind of like took a big blow with the leaving of the steel industry. I feel like there's a lot of like the suburbs of Pittsburgh are very similar to the suburbs of Baltimore. Like I feel like Baltimore has like the Dundalk. There's definitely so many Dundalks of Pittsburgh and like Essex and Towson's.
I guess so
I don't know this at all.
The good thing about Pennsylvania is they have more than one city.
Yeah.
Like they got Philly, dude.
Yeah.
You got to give it up for Philly.
Yeah.
Philly's a good city.
Philly's a great city. And
Philly, the last time I was there, it reminded me of like a cross between DC and New York.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
They say we're
cool.
sister cities, but I don't really know why that would be. You got to kind of feel for a city that's not even the best city in its own state, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, damn, Pittsburgh, you know, in any other state would be like top of the line, but they're just like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know? But we have that rivalry with them. I don't know why. Meanwhile, I feel like the real rivalry should have always been with the Indianapolis Colts. When you talk about the Steelers, like the Steelers with an A, the Indianapolis Steelers, they literally have Johnny Unitas's number in their stadium. They have our Super Bowls in their stadium, like our pennants. Like they took our whole shit. Damn. You know, like we didn't do that to the fucking Browns, dude.
Yeah,
we didn't take.
Jesus.
Well, they didn't really have
anything.
They didn't really have anything. But we would have probably not taken it, you know. We changed the name at least. We changed the name,
you know. That courtesy.
And we let them have their team back again after we took their whole team. We were like, you can have the Browns if you want. And Cleveland was like, no, we don't. We don't want it. We were like, no, you can keep them.
Yeah.
You just got to get a whole new team.
You could be called, you know, the Cleveland Indian Givers, but we're not going to make you do that. Washington's already causing enough ruckus
because you already have the Cleveland Indians as your baseball team, and we can't call you the Cleveland Indian Givers. Because then you're officially the most racist city. It's bad enough you have a team called the Browns.
No.
But yeah, there's always been that running joke where it's like, I'm taking the Browns to the Super Bowl, which is when you take a shit, you know? But like this year, that could actually be a thing, you know?
Yeah. Is that why it's called a Cleveland steamer? Because the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, I think so.
The Cleveland Browns, a.k.a. putting saran wrap on someone's chest and then shitting on it.
At least you put saran wrap on it, you know?
Taking somebody to the Super Bowl. Taking a shit in it.
You got to feel for a city that all their references are shit related. Like we have crabs, you know. Boston has clams.
Clam chowder.
LA has phone chargers.
Yeah.
Cleveland has shit.
Cleveland has shit, dude.
Just shit. They're like the Dundalk of the United States.
Pretty much.
And that's unfortunate. But not this year, dude. I'm really pulling for them, dude. I feel like the Ravens are frauds this year. That was a word that I learned the other day.
Fraud.
Fraud.
I learned the word fraud the other day.
Not from the endless election coverage. I was like, what is this word that they keep saying?
Why does my bank keep calling you about credit card fraud?
What does this mean?
What is that? I have a credit card. Hasn't worked for a while. I think they shut it off for some reason. It's this fraud guy I keep hearing about.
Who the hell is some guy named Fraud?
I don't want his card. I have my own already.
Yeah, dude. Come on, dude. Call me like, what is this about? And they're like, okay, let me see if I can explain it to your terms. You know how the Ravens were supposed to be good, but they're not really that good? I'm like, oh, that's what happened to my credit card. My credit card was supposed to work, but now it doesn't.
So, yeah, is Lamar, he still has COVID? Is he still
Lamar's
out?
playing right now.
Okay, he's playing right now.
COVID positive, playing.
So what do you think about, I feel like every year there's always talk about the Madden curse.
Yeah.
About, you know, whoever gets on the box usually has a bad season after that.
That, while I say this, just turn those cameras off. I'm going to let them charge a little bit longer while we go. I popped the logo on.
Okay.
I'll give you my thing about the Madden curse. My first question is, Lamar Jackson, he was on the most recent cover of Madden? Yeah. Well, he wasn't really hurt, though. That's the only thing I'll say. He wasn't really hurt. He's not having as good of a season but he wasn't really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really get. I mean, some people get hurt, but it's more of like a curse in like,
Yeah.
your ego got a little big. Now you got to play bad.
I think that could be part of it. I think that the Ravens just as a team
Suck.
It's not that we suck. Everybody
Just that
keeps
we're bad.
We're frauds.
We're frauds.
It's that we're frauds. That's the problem. It's that I think I said this a lot last year because I never really got on the bus last year in terms of like, oh, we're the best fucking team ever, even though I do specifically remember being at Mother's Purple Patio.
I remember you saying that.
And literally being at Purple Patio when we beat the Patriots. And
this is the best team ever!
Verbatim yelled in Mehdi's face and said, we are the best team ever! But other than that, I didn't really fall in for the hype. I've always
than that, you're very humble.
Yeah. I've always felt that we were a team that had an immense amount of talent with no real leadership. We don't have a guy like Ray Lewis anymore. We don't have anybody on the team that I would say is like the cornerstone of that team. Mm-hmm. And I feel like every good championship team needs a guy like that. As far as like you look at like Patrick Mahomes, he's got just as much time in the NFL, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And last year I would always get pissed off because at the time Lamar Jackson was easily the highest performing quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And but I would always see Mahomes in commercials and shit, Allstate commercials, fucking Taco Bell commercials, any fucking commercial he was in it. And I was like, why does everybody suck off Patrick Mahomes so much? Like, why don't we put Lamar Jackson in a commercial? Lamar Jackson actually wound up winning the MVP that year because after we won like 14 straight. But Mahomes won the Super Bowl. And when we were in the playoffs last year, we lost to the Titans. We had gone into that game winning literally 14 straight, and not just winning, dominating. Like we were averaging beating teams by like 28 points.
Yeah, we're going ham.
Yeah, and not just shitty teams, like good teams.
Yeah, but I think that was also due to just like Lamar kind of played different than most quarterbacks, and people just weren't used to that play style yet.
Exactly. So people saw that he came out of the gates, and just people didn't really know how to stop him. But once they kind of figured him out, I don't feel like we ever got our mojo back. I feel like, it's just and the problem that I have the most with it is that it seems to me that every time we play a consequential game, like a game that actually matters, we lose. Mm-hmm. And anytime we're down, pretty much we lose. I compared us to much respect to Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson, but there was a thing with him where he was so dominant as an athlete in boxing, and obviously he was an amazing skilled boxer as well, but he was so dominant that he didn't really even have like a real fight until like pretty far into like a couple years in. And when he was actually met his match, it was like he didn't even know how to like contemplate it.
No one had lasted with him that long in the ring before, so then he was like, shit, I've tried everything, and now I'm tired.
Yeah, I've never had to make it to round 2 before. What the hell is this? And so I think that's what happened to the Ravens is we were just killing everybody, and then the second, I'll never forget, I showed up to Lock Bar because I was supposed to play a gig that night because bars love scheduling me the same night as the Ravens play. Which also we've done a podcast on the same night as the Ravens have played for the past 2 weeks, so maybe it's a thing. But I showed up and they were like, okay, we're not going to have you start until after the game. So I show up and we're just sitting at the bar watching. And as soon as we were down 2 touchdowns, it was like the first quarter, you could see, from what I could see on Lamar's face, that he was just bewildered. And there wasn't this look that he was like, we need to overcome this. It was this look of like, fuck. It was like this look of just like complete astonishment. Where from that moment on, I was like, I just don't see how we're going to come back from this because the Ravens look absolutely dumbfounded that they're actually on the losing side of a game. Compare that to that same weekend when the Kansas City Chiefs were also down to the Texans by 24 points. And they came back and won, and then came back and won, and then went on to win the Super Bowl. And that was kind of the moment for me when I was like, that's what we need. We need and
a good team.
We need a good team. And so this year, I just feel like the Ravens have kind of been exposed to more than just COVID. We've been exposed as a team. and
as being frauds.
As being frauds. So, I mean, but again, this season, does it count? Can you really count a season where 4 of your starters could be out for testing positive for a virus that they're not even symptomatic of, that they just have it, but they're just not allowed to play? And then you're playing random games on like a Tuesday night, a Wednesday afternoon last week. We played at 3:40 on a fucking Wednesday last week against the Steelers, the biggest rivalry in football, 3:40 p.m. on a Wednesday. People aren't even off of work yet. And it's like, how do you really count this as a season, Baseball played for like 60 games. They played like a third of a season. I don't even know who won the World Series.
Yeah, I don't even know either.
So it's like, it's a good year to not be that good, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely just kind of like a throwaway year for everything. Mm-hmm. And I think they just wanted to have at least something going on, so then at least for, like, all the teams, they can feel like they got their money's worth out of like signing these players.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's no fucking quarantine or pandemic clause in the contracts where it's like, if we aren't playing this year, because of a global pandemic, we get to suspend your contract until the season starts up again. Mm-hmm. So I think they just wanted to get their money's worth and be like, okay, we at least have some shit to show people. We can probably get some, whatever, the seat sales, like let everyone get your picture on a seat.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they just wanted to figure out how to recoup some losses.